Peter Sweden here. Things in Sweden have now escalated to a completely new level. A military RPG weapon has been found in the Swedish capital of Stockholm. Let us think in for a minute. This is an RPG, a rocket-propelled grenade. This is a military weapon that is being used in wars to take out tanks. And this has now been found in the Swedish capital of Stockholm. Let that sink in for a minute. And not only did I find this RPG weapon, it was actually loaded as well with a projectile. So a fully loaded RPG was found in Sweden in 2017. Let that sink in for a minute. This is not Somalia, it's not Iraq, it's not Afghanistan. This is Sweden, a European country. I mean, just think about this for a minute. We are literally talking about a situation here that if they actually use this RPG, I mean, Sweden would have to put in the military. I mean, because the police couldn't even, the police couldn't deal with that kind of weapons. They would actually have to put in the military to deal with this. Now, I've been saying for a long time that they should put in the military to these no-go zones to stop this madness getting totally out of hand. But I mean, if they actually use this RPG, I mean, they would actually have to put in the military with tanks and everything to try and stop this madness. You know, there's this meme about Sweden being this GTA 5 Sweden DLC. You know, it's almost becoming a reality. Grenades, bombs, and now RPGs. I mean, we're only missing fighter jets and helicopters and tanks in order to Sweden to actually turn into real-life GTA 5. I mean, how insane is that? And the Swedish politicians are not doing anything because it's politically incorrect. You know, I've been reporting on, I've been one of the only guys reporting on this because the mainstream media is completely quiet about it. But there's been a lot of bombs in Sweden the last few months. Now, last month in Sweden there was 16 bombs in just 1 month, and so far this month there's been about 7 bombs, I believe, if I haven't lost count. So that makes it, that makes it 23 bombs in well, it's how much is it now? About 50 days it's been. 23 bombs in 50 days. And many of these are grenades and those kinds of weapons. There's also been a few very powerful fireworks called bangers that they've been using, but these are not your ordinary kind of toy fireworks kind of thing. These are really serious, powerful stuff that they have 100 grams of gunpowder in them. And now they escalate to a completely new level, RPG. I mean, what's next? Are we gonna see tanks rolling around in Sweden now? I mean, this is getting ridiculous, this. I mean, these levels of ridiculousness is insane. I mean, Sweden is literally turning into a war zone. They're literally using military weapons in Sweden. Swedish police officer Emir Gaczobegovic, if I pronounce that correctly, I don't believe it's not a Swedish name, so I don't apologize if I didn't pronounce that correctly. He says that, quote, "This is a very powerful weapon and the risk for injuries to a third person is extremely big. This is actually a weapon that's being used to take out vehicles," unquote. So this is the kind of, I mean, imagine the kind of damage this would have done if someone used this. You know, they've been using, in Sweden, they've been using grenades. You know, just recently a police car was attacked with a grenade. I mean, imagine if they'd used a RPG. I mean, the damage, the consequences would be catastrophic and enormous. I mean, these things can take out tanks. And now they're using it in a civilian society in Sweden. I mean, imagine someone, luckily it hasn't been used yet, but they found one. And if they found one, you can be pretty sure there are probably a few more others out there as well. And I mean, it's anyone's guess how long time it's going to be before they actually use these. You know, if they use this against a car or a house, I mean, it's going to be catastrophic. So, what's going on in Sweden? Well, as I reported before, there are these no-go zone gangs, these criminal gangs, often migrant gangs, that are committing these attacks, often against the police. Recently, the police have been subject to a lot of these attacks, actually, but also other people. You know, there was just actually the same day that they found this RPG. Earlier in the morning, a grenade went off just outside a family apartment. So in Gothenburg, I believe that was. Or it might have been another city. I'm losing a bit count now. There's too many of them happening in Sweden, which really should be telling. You know, there's so many happening in Sweden now. I mean, imagine if this happened in any other place than Sweden, and the media would have been absolutely ballistic. It would have been international headline news everywhere. But since it's in Sweden, and it's supposed to be this perfect liberal utopia where mass migration is working perfectly, and when it turns out to not be working so perfectly, well, it destroys the mainstream media's agenda, the narrative, so they're not reporting on it. So it's left to people like me to report on this, that they're not reporting on it. So make sure to share this video, guys, because this is getting to ridiculous levels in Sweden. And people are not barely even aware of it because of the mainstream media's blackout. So make sure to share this video all over social media so we get the truth out there. Like this video. Make sure to subscribe as well if you haven't done so already, and hit the notification bell so you get the notifications whenever a new video comes out. And leave a comment below what you think, guys, because this is insane. And if you want to support my work for more future content like this, please consider supporting me on PayPal or Patreon. I'll leave the links in the description below. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll leave you to enjoy this beautiful Norwegian scenery here in the background, and I'll see you guys later.